If you haven't seen already, there's been a huge blue post go out telling us all the details that we need to know about Phase 3, which is obviously not going to be that far away, on the basis that we know the dates for the actual testing of Throne of Thunder now. The great thing about this post is we actually now know what the Platinum Challenge modes are and what rewards we're going to get, and basically what the point of doing it is. We also know the season rewards we're going to get from challenge modes, and also the main thing really here for me personally is Thunderforging, and how they're going to manage the Thunderforging system to make it less irritating, because if you don't know what it is, real TLDR, every time you get an item drop or you bonus roll an item in Throne of Thunder, whether it's normal or heroic, it's got a chance of being Thunderforged, which gives it 6 extra item level. Now, of course, that's incredibly RNG based, and if you want to be full BIS, you need to get full Thunderforged, which realistically is just not going to happen, and those big items like a trinket that drops, for example, we'll use Rune of Reorigination because it's one of the more exciting trinkets for me personally inside Throne of Thunder. Now, if I've got the normal version of this, or let's say the heroic version, and then a heroic Thunderforged version drops, it would kind of be unfair for me to expect to get it over someone who hasn't even got the regular version of it yet, but it's my BIS. You know, so you get a lot of frustrating moments around loot. So the fact that they've actually addressed that in quite a good way, I think, which the only slight downside I see with it is it's actually going to make the raid a little bit easier, but not significantly easier, but we'll get into that in a minute. If you haven't already, smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more World of Warcraft content in general, oh, and you should probably come and check me streaming out over on kick.com/Scottejaye as well. Why not? Firstly, they go for a few things that we're going to expect when it comes to Phase 3, so things like Isle of Thunder, where it's a bit of a war effort where you're doing dailies, unlocking extra quests, doing more quests, it's just lots of quests, and there's lots of rares and treasures that you can find on the island as well. But ultimately how it unlocks is kind of how the Sunwell Island opened in TBC, or I suppose you could even sort of compare it to the AQ war effort, where things just unlock over time. But there's plenty to do on the island and plenty of achievements to get as well, so good stuff. Now, when it comes to world bosses, you've got Undasta that sits very far up in the north on the Isle of Giants, which actually they're going to do a sort of test with the Blues on November the 7th at 3 PM, so if you are actually going to go on the PTR to test any of this stuff, you can go and actually try out Undasta early. You can even go and try Nalak as well, but Nalak won't actually be available, which is quite annoying because, by the way, Nalak is basically the equivalent of Shah, so it's the boss that drops the tier and the sort of current season PvP gear. But that's not actually available until the whole island is unlocked, so it's very last stage. So I'm hoping that it's quite accelerated and we're not waiting too long for everything to be available on Isle of Thunder, because waiting for the boss to be available that actually drops tier, like, we want that pretty quick. It is going to be accelerated on the PTR, obviously, just purely so they can test everything that they need testing. If you're exalted with Tillers, you'll now be able to take over Sunsong Ranch just by going and speaking to Farmer Yoon. I already mentioned in the last video about Warlocks being able to now have access to getting the codex that turns all sort of your fires all fell-like and green, so I know a lot of Warlocks will be excited to get that. Now, the interesting thing is it looks like they're sticking with the limited pull attempts on Ra-Den as well. So Throne of Thunder offers 12 unique encounters and challenges, and Ra-Den, which is basically the final hidden boss, heroic only boss, he needs to be defeated within 30 pulls or he'll despawn and you'll have to wait another week. Now, I didn't actually think they'd go down the route of limited pulls in Classic, but yeah, they are. I actually think that's quite good, personally. Of course, we'll get access to Mogu Runes of Fate, which will have a rolling cap like the Elder Charms of Good Fortune have, and these are going to be what you use for bonus rolls in Throne of Thunder, Nalak and Undasta, and they still cost 50 lesser charms. As for the testing, we now know the testing for Throne of Thunder and what time it's actually going to be, so November the 4th through to November the 7th, and we now know it's 10 AM PST, all the way to 8 AM PST on November 7th, and then on the 14th, it's 10 AM PST, through to November the 17th at 8 AM PST. Now, the important stuff, Thunderforging. So, as I say, Thunderforging was very, very annoying, irritating, frustrating, however you want to word it, because ultimately, you wanted every slot to be Thunderforged, but the chances of actually making that happen were very slim. Now, what the item upgrade system was used for back in original Mist of Pandaria was actually a soft nerf to the raids, and I'm sure you noticed it. From the week where we never had item upgrades in Tier 14 to the week where we all gained 8 item levels, it was night and day difference. Like, that extra 8 item levels across all of your item slots, it made a big difference to how easy the raid then became. Now, originally, this would have been removed when Throne of Thunder launched, and then again added back later on down the line as kind of a soft nerf to Throne of Thunder, so you could get the extra item level again. Now, Blizzard are doing it slightly differently, so yes, overall, it will make the raid ever so slightly easier than it was back in the day, but it's a really sensible change because Thunderforged items will still drop, but they can't be upgraded. So the upgrade system's not going to be removed in Mr. Pandaria Classic, but the Thunderforged items cannot be upgraded, but all the other items can be upgraded twice for 3 item levels each. So the Thunderforged item will drop and have 6 extra item levels, but not be able to be upgraded. All the other gear that drops can be upgraded by 6 item level. So essentially, when you get a Thunderforged item, it just saves you some justice points. You're not going to need to upgrade the piece. So it's still a bit of a bonus, but it really yields no extra power. Now, this does just mean that it's going to be very easy to be in the equivalent of full Thunderforged gear. So as I say, everyone's item level will be that much higher than it would have been back in the day or without this system being implemented. So the content will be a little bit easier than it used to be, which I think honestly in Classic is absolutely fine because Throne of Thunder should be a reasonable step up in difficulty from tier 14 anyway, certainly on some of the bosses. So this will actually probably just help. So the outcome of this should then reduce the randomness, decrease frustration with Thunderforged item drops, keep bonus rolls feeling good, keep non-Thunderforged items from feeling like they're less useful or unexciting, and keep Thunderforged items feeling valuable without feeling too valuable. Overall, I think it was a brilliant change. I genuinely do. As I say, even though there's that byproduct of actually having higher eye level overall for the entire raid versus what it would have been back in the day, this definitely will... I think it does make the Thunderforged items feel less exciting. That's maybe the only negative thing because they drop and it's like, oh well, it doesn't really matter if it's so easy to go out and just farm justice points to upgrade gear anyway that it's not the probably perfect solution, but I think it's as close to perfect as you can get, if I'm honest with you, especially the way we play Classic. And then on to challenge modes. Now, the Platinum medal in challenge modes, we obviously noticed this maintenance because it made it into the game, but there's no rewards for them. But now we actually know what the rewards are going to be, and I'll be honest with you, a couple of them are pretty cool. So for each dungeon that you actually manage to get the Platinum time beat in, you're going to get an achievement, and that achievement's going to reward a toy. Now, these toys are basically Platinum versions of stuff that we already know. So the battle banner, for example, that you get from the War Scout, now you don't need to worry about trying to get it from the War Scout and camping it because you'll be able to get it just from completing the Platinum version of Scarlet Halls. Now the same goes for the Battle Horn, so you can get the Platinum Battle Horn from completing Moghasham Palace. Now, if we compare Battle Horn for Battle Horn, you'll see that they're both 40 yards, both with a 2-minute cooldown, so they are identical, but it does just mean that you haven't got to worry about going in the outdoor world and trying to camp something that's normally pretty heavily camped anyway. You can guarantee that you're going to be able to get it by doing the Platinum version of Moghasham Palace. And the good thing is as well, it is an extra toy. And I'm guessing, I haven't obviously actually got it on the PTR, so there's no way for me to test it, but hopefully it doesn't share a cooldown. So actually having both would be useful. Now, obviously, don't quote me on that, but it would at least add a bit more value if it didn't share a cooldown, so you could use it twice as often. Odds are they probably will share a cooldown, but it'd be cool if they didn't. Now, the really cool ones that I like is Platinum Potion of Invisibility. So you're actually going to have a toy version of an 18-second Invis Potion, which on the basis toys are also account-wide. Every character that you've got, you'll never need to worry about Invis Potions again. You've got a toy that does exactly what an Invisibility Potion does. And also, you can also get the Platinum Amber, so where you encase yourself in the amber, having a toy version of it and not having to buy them from the Klaxi vendor for ridiculous amounts of gold each time, again, that's really cool as well. So I think the Invis Potion and the Amber are definitely better than the toys that you can already go out in the world and get, but they're sensible rewards because all of these rewards that you're going to get from Platinum in each of the dungeons are all things that you'll actually use in challenge modes. Now, there's also a Realm First achievement for Season 2 and Season 3 for completing all of the challenge modes on Platinum, and each Platinum one you complete and each one that you do for the first time where you actually get the Challenge Conqueror achievements, you'll also get Platinum coins. Now, there's a challenge mode exchange in Shrine where you can use these coins to get transmog pieces, as well as toys that you don't currently have. Now, at the moment, it just looks like you can get recolors of the current existing challenge mode set, but they did say on the post that there's going to be mounts that you can get as well. Now, there's currently no mounts here, but I would guess it's just going to be the other versions of like the Asham Phoenix that you get. But obviously, you only get one egg as a reward for doing all the challenge modes, so you buy one. You'll probably be able to use these Platinum coins to get the other ones as well. So overall, I think actually building on the challenge mode system is a big win. We know we're also going to get additional celestial changes, including obviously the loot that we're going to be able to get from Throne of Thunder, but the LFR version or the celestial version, which means we're probably going to get like boss mechanics from Throne of Thunder in the new celestials. And of course, building on the celestials each season, we'll call it each season, even though it's each phase, has to happen so people can get the LFR gear, but I'm really pleased to see them actually building on the challenge mode system as well. As I say, for me, Thunderforging and what they've done with the Platinum Challenge modes, and especially like the rewards that you can get from them. Big win. Now, there was also the leaderboard announcement, so as long as you maintain a realm best time when the season ends, you're going to be able to get the Mistwalker as a title with Reigns of the Celestial Serpent for Season 1, Mistborn with Reigns of the Celestial Tiger for Season 2, and Heir to the Mist with a mount we don't know about at the moment for Season 3. I think overall this blue post really just answered everything that I wanted to know personally. Hopefully this video has answered everything that you wanted to know, and personally I'm really looking forward to getting into Throne of Thunder on the PTR this week and seeing how difficult the bosses are actually going to be. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the Rested XP link in the pinned comment in the description if you want to pick up a guide for any version of WoW. I've personally been using the Rested XP guide for both the War Within and Legion Remix the last few days, so as I say, it's down there if you want to go and grab one. Cool, I'll see you on the next one.